What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and in this video we'll be talking about 4 different cryptocurrencies, cryptos that I recently have purchased myself. The purpose behind these purchases is not a long-term position, though I do have long-term positions in a few of them. The purpose is behind the recent purchase is to sell in the short term. I believe that crypto as a whole will pump going into the 29th of October this month, into the FOMC announcement where Jerome Powell says, hey, we're going to be cutting interest rates by 25 basis points, 50 basis points, whatever the case may be. I think it'll be 25, the smaller one. And every single time that we've had an FOMC announcement in 2025, we have pumped into that press conference. So I'm assuming that's what's going to happen here, because every single time before that's what's happened. And it's the 21st now. It's the end of the month. Let's make some rent money. That's the whole purpose here, right? We're gonna put some money in the markets. We're gonna cash out. We're gonna eat with it. That's what's going to happen. Again, none of these positions are going to be long term. I do have long-term positions in a few of them, but this is separate money, okay? So if that all sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe. Let's get into it, okay? The 4 cryptos that I have chosen to purchase for these short-term positions are Bitcoin Cash, Toshi, Cookie DAO, and Alice. And a little fun fact, the largest position I actually have out of these 4, the largest position I have is Bitcoin Cash, but the largest procurement that I just had, the one that I just bought, was Alice. I actually put most funds into Alice compared to these other 3. Mainly because I already have these other 3 as well, to be completely fair. But anyways, we're going to talk about Bitcoin Cash first, then Toshi, then Cookie, then Alice, right? In order of market cap succession. That's why we're talking about it in that order. So first and foremost, Bitcoin Cash. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. We are loving Bitcoin Cash right now, you guys, because on a weekly time frame, this thing has broken through. It has broken through its lifelong, literally lifelong historical downtrend here from highs, these lower highs. You've broken through it and you've back tested it to find support. I had half a mind to just put all the funds that I put in today, to put it all in Bitcoin Cash yesterday, because I knew, isn't it funny how you know, but then you don't do it and then it pumps. And now I'm forced to buy the high, man. I literally did buy the high of the day. I put it in at like $505. So here we are at $501 now. We call that the C-Zar special. You buy after I buy and you get a discount. That's typically what happens. Bitcoin Cash, though, the main thought here is that we are moments away. At any point in time, we're going to see this thing rally phenomenally. And truth be told, guys, if there was one of these tokens that I don't sell by the 29th, it might be Bitcoin Cash. I might be too greedy with this one. I might hold on to it just because, again, what's coming is going to be superb. I very much believe that the breakout that we're going to see is going to interact with this prior cycle high and even take us above that point. That's my expectation. So that's why I'm investing in Bitcoin Cash. That's why it's one of my largest bags in crypto, first off, but that's why it's also our most recent purchase, is that we're at $500 right now. It's a gift. I really do expect that between now and the 29th of October, we could see something, something on the lines of a $600 price, which from here, it's not the craziest growth in your existence, but it is a 20% growth on something that I am very confident in, that I'm very confident, if anything, it'll outperform my expectations instead of underperform. I don't believe we're going to go lower. So this one, a very safe bet here, nice 20% move from here in the next week or so. That's my expectation by the end of the month, okay? Toshi, and of course we diversify, because if we're trying to be savvy investors, it's good to diversify. Sometimes it's okay to put things in go full go in one of these. I think that if you were to bet the farm on BCH, Toshi, or Cookie, I think you're not going to be upset. I don't think you'll be upset, but why not allocate? One of them might pop off first, and that's why we put some money into Alice. Why not allocate or diversify? Because if one of them pops off first, you can sell and then reallocate. By the way, I think I'm going to take this moment to say, if any of these tokens see a fantastic pump in like a one-day time frame, like let's say Alice does what it likes to do, it pumps 40 or 50 or 100% in a day. If it does that, or same thing with Toshi or Cookie, I don't expect Bitcoin Cash to pump 100% in a day, but if it happens, I will probably sell those, whichever one pumps, and then put those gains into these 3 by the 29th. We'll pull everything out. That's my expectation. That's the game plan if one of them really gets away from the others. Toshi, we love Toshi. We talk about Toshi regularly. This is one that we have a lot of confidence in as well. I think base tokens are going to do really well, right? I think that this this whole up only podcast purchase, the $25 million purchase of that NFT, the $375 million purchase of Echo, I think this is going to bring a lot of publicity to base. And Toshi is one of the biggest, if not the biggest meme on base, okay, as far as market cap goes and as far as community goes. I see this thing, and without all of that, I see this thing rallying. But with that, especially, I see it rallying because look at this. From our prior all-time high way back here, not this all-time high, but our prior all-time high for a long time, from April 2024 until January, we have been slowly encroaching upon this level here, right? We've slowly. It's like you're in an ascending triangle, right? Can you see it? But beyond that, you've had this trend coming up all the way back, dating back to really September 2024. I've drawn this line a few times, and it's not the most perfect line, but the idea here is that, you know, you get a line of best fit. Anytime we've been below this line, it's been a perfect opportunity to buy. We're basically right there right now. Okay, we're at a perfect opportunity to buy. Toshi does this thing where you wake up one morning and it's up 50%. You never know, right? And again, I could see this thing rallying between now and the 29th. It could be up. We could be pushing new all-time highs for all I know. Like genuinely, we could be this thing from here by the 29th could be up 150%, 200%. That's why, you know, and maybe it's not up that high, but I do assume it's going to grow to some degree. And if we're not looking, you know, to the moon, if we're not looking to the stars, to the minimalistic degree that I'm expecting us to pump to, I would expect that we get back above this horizontal line here. If I take I'm going to take this high to this low. I'm not going to take the scam wick low. We're just going to take that low. The golden ratio zone is right here, and that's a 17 to a 21% pump as well. Decent growth. Kind of in an area where you might expect to find resistance. Maybe we go higher. This is kind of an X factor coin. You know, we've seen these kind of massive pumps happen in this exact price range, right? Even back here, we've seen massive pumps happen. So we could see something fantastic come out of this in the short term. I'm very bullish on Toshi in the long term as well. But again, the funds that I just put in there are meant for short term purposes only. Bouncing off the 40, looking good here, right? Bouncing off the 0 on your MACD, the stochastics are pointed up, all good things. We didn't even look at that on Bitcoin Cash. You have bullish divergence here. You have bullish divergence on your stochastics, or maybe not actually, but you're still scooping the 0. The MACD kind of sucks for being fair on the daily time frame, but I'm not worried about it. Again, Bitcoin Cash, I think, is just largely undervalued. Like out of all these coins, Bitcoin Cash, I would say Bitcoin Cash, Toshi's probably the only one that's not largely undervalued. Cookie DAO, Alice, and Bitcoin Cash are very undervalued right now. But I think Bitcoin Cash is the most undervalued. Let's talk about Cookie DAO now. Cookie DAO. Also, I would have bought KTA. I would have bought some KTA, but KTA is not on the exchange that I use. So I have to wait for those funds to clear. I can trade with the exchange that I use. I can trade, and these coins are on that exchange, but KTA is not. I would have bought some KTA. I definitely would have. KTA is one of my more recent purchases as well, but I just deposited those funds on the exchange, so they haven't cleared. You know, you can't send them; they have to wait for it to clear. Anyways, and I didn't use the instant. You can do instant transactions where they clear, but you have to use a debit card. I'm not about that. They have lower limits for one, and we put in more than what the limits were. But for two, the fees, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it to me. I'd rather miss out on KTA pumping. I'm already invested in KTA and just diversify across 3 different things. Cookie DAO, though, let's move on. Cookie DAO. We're looking at Bybit here, okay? Talking about bullish divergence on the weekly stochastics, okay? Do we have bullish divergence? That's not bullish divergence on the MACD, but still, I don't mind the MACD. It actually is kind of bad overall, but where we are is a very low point here. Daily time frame, if we're looking at this, bullish divergence on the daily MACD, bullish divergence on the RSI. Stochastics holding the 50, looking like they want to come up. All bullish, is predication, is that the right word? All bullish foreshadowings. Okay, I really do think, and Cookie's another one that does this thing where in a day you'll wake up and it's up 19%. In a day you'll wake up and it's up 43%. You never know. And we're at the low ends of this range right now. If we look at this on a weekly time frame, from a low here, from a low here, your all-time low, to the high here, your all-time high, probably the most significant fib at all ever. You are literally holding support right at your golden ratio right now. Yeah, the scam wick not included. We're literally holding support right at the golden ratio perfectly. So I would expect a very fast movement up to the 0.5 or higher. And this is a 45% move or more. I really wouldn't be surprised if Cookie saw a 40% move or more between now and the 29th. Retrospectively, thinking about it, I should have just put it all into Cookie. In fact, oftentimes when I purchase other cryptos, I'm like, man, why didn't I just buy more Cookie DAO? I really like Cookie DAO a lot. This is one that, you know, all of these tokens that we've talked about so far are tokens that I talk to people in the real world about. I'm like, you should buy these tokens, right? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but when it comes to like friends and family and people that I actually know in the real world, I genuinely point them in this direction because I think that these projects are phenomenal and they're going to see some intense growth. Cookie has been beaten up for a very long time, okay, since May of 2026. And none of this, obviously, at this point, if you haven't been able to tell, none of this is fundamental analysis. People, I've got some people who are on here who are, hold on, let me fix this real quick. They'll come out and they'll be like, trust me, bro. That's what they'll say in the comments. Oh, trust me, bro analysis. It's not trust me, bro. It's I trust you, bro. It's I'm trusting you, bro analysis. It's I'm giving you price forecasts based on the 10 years of technical analytical experience that I have personally. I'm giving you the price forecast and I'm counting on you. I'm not theorizing. I'm not hoping, right? I'm very much depending. I'm 100% counting on each and every single one of you to do your own research on any project that I talk about, on any project that anybody talks about. I don't talk about the fundamentals, I talk about the technicals. Sometimes I talk about fundamentals, but I don't talk about them every single day because fundamentals don't change. Technicals change every day. That doesn't mean it's trust me, bro analysis. That just means, hey, I'm providing the price targets based off of my technical analytical skills. And I have belief, I have a fundamental underlying belief into each of these projects. I don't talk about them if I don't see them going somewhere. I genuinely don't. If I don't see a project going anywhere, I won't talk about it. But I'm not going to give a fundamental analysis in every single video when the fundamentals don't change. I depend on you, and I'm very much depending on you to do your own. I'm trusting you, bro, to do your own analysis, or girl, whoever you might be. Do your own analysis. Make sure that the coins you're investing in are coins that you can get behind. I like DeFi. I like DeFi a lot. I like AI as well, and I like gaming. So we talk about coins like that. We don't hit every single sector of the crypto markets, but just because I like that doesn't mean you like it, doesn't mean you have to invest in it, right? Anyways, moving on. And we love memes. Of course we love memes. Memes are great. If you don't love memes at this point, you're in your first cycle, right? I think everybody hates memes their first cycle, or maybe that's what gets them into their first cycle, and then they hate memes afterwards because, well, you know, it doesn't really go so well for most people. But we love memes too. Memes are an integral aspect of crypto. But moving on, Cookie DAO, I think ultimately will see new all-time highs. I think that we're going to see a rally that takes us up to $1.65 to $3.90, probably by the end of November, if not by the end of this year. Okay, I'm not anticipating to catch this full move with my recent purchase, but to catch something, right? To catch at least a little something that's 20%, 40% gains. That's the expectation here. And last but not least, Alice. And I say not least especially because this is my most recent purchase, or my largest purchase of the most recent stack that we got here. Shout out to B Cashy and shout out to Mark. I didn't know this. Thank you for telling us this, Mark, by the way. I looked it up and I made a post because of this. Mark, I don't know what the word is there. I think that's Hebrew, right? I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, good job. Good call, bro. Good job looking out. That's like new news too. So he was on it. Alice, talking about games, the gaming sector. My neighbor Alice. We've seen some life recently. And in fact, let's use a chart that has some volume. Is Coinbase. Coinbase is good enough. There's been a lot of volume. Can we agree on that, right? Look at how absurd this volume is compared to anything that we've seen since, I mean, damn, your whole life. And it happened at the all-time lows. You know what else happened here at these lows? Do you know what else happened here? They stopped minting new tokens. Okay? If we look at Alice here, let's see. Alice. We look at Alice here. I'm sure I'm not the only one looking at Eclipse either. Everybody's talking about it. I'm wondering if that'll go up too. But the chart does look like ass, to be completely fair. Alice's chart is no better. It actually looks very bad. I would never buy a chart like this. But I looked into it. I did some research, and I'm doing something a little out of character for me, and I'm buying a chart that I genuinely think looks terrible. But I think that there's some good things going on, and from a fundamental perspective, there might be a reason why this thing pumps here pretty soon. And again, I'm not getting into the fundamentals, but if you look at the market cap versus the price, the market cap is actually more bullish. The market cap's been upholding. It's been moving sideways, where the prices have been getting hit. So there's been new tokens entering the supply, the circulating supply, and that's why the price has been getting hammered. But that's, to my knowledge, stopped now. There's no more token unlocks, or at least the majority of them have happened. I don't know if there's any more. We go to the token unlock page here. Let's see. Yeah, 100% is unlocked. 100% unlocked. So that's not going to happen anymore, okay? It's not going to happen anymore. We look at the chart here. Obviously, you're at all-time lows, so that's appetizing in itself, okay? You're on Coinbase, which is a pretty damn big exchange, and you've got a lot of volume coming in here. And the gaming sector, I think, is about to take off. Now, Alice, I'm kind of hoping that between now and the 29th, we get some kind of crazy, ridiculous pump. That this was large allocations here from some big whales, and the price is about to rally, right? Something, maybe they get listed on Binance. I don't know what it is, but some kind of catalyst is going to happen. And you can see here in the price, right? Things are a little bit different right now than they've been in the past. We're kind of moving sideways here. And we've moved sideways here before, but we have an absurd level of volume here. Where here the volume was at the top. You know what I mean? Here the spike in volume was at the top. It wasn't at the lows. We've got these spikes in volume here at the lows, coming in literally at the lowest days. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some incredible growth between now and the 29th, let alone between now and the end of the cycle. We're actually monitoring Alice quite well, or very closely. Your RSI looks productive overall. You had bearish divergence, but that move played out. Okay, you bought, you've sold off. Anybody who wants to get out has sold off. Any panic, any people who FOMO'd in at the top, you're dealing with a 47% drop right now, or 40-something% drop, so you probably panic sold. The MACD is positive. The stochastics are, to be fair, neutral, but the RSI is positive overall. We're taking a kind of a leap of faith here and assuming that Alice will probably do well. The main reason I bought was looking at this 4-hour RSI bouncing off the oversold zone like this, and the rest of the market getting some life today, Bitcoin and everything else. I say that now, and Bitcoin's actually coming down, isn't it? Let's look. Let's see here. Whatever's going on in this Federal Reserve meeting, where they talk about AI and payments, the market must not be liking that. We're moving down right now. I also saw somebody post about how Binance is the one selling right now. Binance is largely selling, and there are a lot of liquidations, man, to be had. On the 1 day here, we look at this. There's about $3-4 billion in longs piled on right now. Binance is gonna clear those out and make some money, man. Probably. Anyways, Alice bouncing off the 4-hour. The last time we did that, we had a very massive move up, right? We bounced off the 4-hour here. That was a low point. We moved up as well. The stochastics have a double bottom going on. We have bullish divergence on the 4-hour MACD as well. All these signs together, I just think that we're at the beginning of what likely will be a larger move up. And you can see here on Coinbase, we have a gap there that we're probably going to fill. There's, I wonder if there's even gaps. Let's look on the 1-hour time frame, see if there's other gaps to consider. I don't see any other gaps to consider. Do I? I don't even see the gap that we were just looking at. Where is that gap? That gaping gap. Where? Let me look at the 4-hour time frame. It's right there. Huh, that's kind of odd. Monday the 20th. Oh, it's right there. Okay, yeah, it's right there. And that in itself, just to fill that gap from the current price, that's a 6% gain. It's really not much to talk about. But if it does what I think it's going to do, not just between now and the end of the cycle, but if it does what I think it's going to do between now and the 29th, we could see something on the lines of a 40% pump or more as well. So we're kind of taking a swing on a Hail Mary here with this one. But I do think that it's undervalued as well. You're at a $34 million market cap. I think that you have a lot of room to grow. And anybody looking to invest in this coin for the longer term, I do see a scenario where this thing could see new all-time highs altogether, where you could see a multi-100x in this crypto by the end of the cycle. And I don't think I'm the only person who sees that. Anyways, I've got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. These are just 4 different projects that I've invested in for short-term gain purposes only, right? As I've been saying, we're going to make some rent money. That's the purpose, okay? Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.